Hi, Erik Linask here at Comtel in Las Vegas, and I'm talking now with Kevin Sheehan, who is the former CEO of Overture Networks, now president of Overture Networks. Kevin, thanks for joining me. Welcome.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, I guess that's as logical a place to start as anywhere, the deal between Hatteras and Overture.
Yeah, so we're really excited about the merger with Overture. As you said, I was the CEO of Hatteras for the last 10 years or so, and we just merged up. We announced the closure of it yesterday, actually, the merger with Overture Networks, and we're really excited about it. You know, it's a merger that was really driven by the marketplace. Both companies very successful, coming off of record-breaking years in 2010, but more and more because the two companies were very complementary in terms of the solutions they provided. In Hatteras' case, delivering Ethernet over bonded copper primarily and being number one in that marketplace. And in Overture's case, delivering primarily Ethernet over TDM, or TDM over Ethernet, I should say, and being number one in that space. They've been very, very successful as well. And it's a natural just to bring the two companies together. More and more over time, Jeff Reedy and I had questions coming into us from our target customers and existing customers. Hey, why don't you have more products like this? And it turned out we could each develop those independently, or because the carrier Ethernet market is so red hot right now, it just made a lot more sense to put the two companies together and accelerate that development.
Got it. So speaking of those customers, is there any significant customer overlap?
You know, we each have over 200 customers around the world, and there's not that much overlap between the two companies. So it's a great opportunity to cross-sell products from one set of accounts to another set of accounts. Also, geographically, Overture has had tremendous success in North America, and we've had reasonable success in North America, but Hatteras has been strong around the world in places like EMEA and Asia-Pac as well. So I think there's a great opportunity to bring the legacy Overture products into the legacy Hatteras footprint around the world.
So you're absolutely right that there isn't a topic much hotter than Ethernet right now. Why is that? Why is there so much interest?
Well, I think it's what the end customers demand. You know, whether it's carriers themselves here, where they're buying wholesale products from one another at a show like Comtel, or of course enterprise customers. They just see tremendous value in Ethernet services. You know, Ethernet has always delivered every few years 10 times the bandwidth at roughly the same price, and it's hard to beat that value proposition. And then of course the obvious thing here with carrier Ethernet is there's not a technology on the horizon that's going to replace carrier Ethernet. Right. So I think it's very straightforward payback if you jump into the market.
What's the market like internationally? Is it as exciting as right here in North America?
That's a great question. You know, actually internationally, as exciting as it is when you're walking around a show here where everyone's talking about carrier Ethernet, I think in some respects it's more exciting in other places around the world. You know, and it's kind of, in many places, they've jumped or leapfrogged a complete step in technology and gone straight to carrier Ethernet. So it's even hotter and even greater demand for things like 1 gig and 10 gig optical services, where Overture is well positioned with existing award-winning products in that marketplace. Hatteras didn't have them, and we can pull them directly into existing channels, into existing customer bases around the world.
You talked a little bit about the synergies between the two product lines. What's it going to take now to successfully integrate the two companies?
Yeah, it's a great question. Integration is really so much about the teams and about people. And one of the best things about this integration, other than all of the customer synergy and product synergy, is that the headquarters of each company is about 4 miles apart. So it really takes so much potential pain out of the integration, where, you know, instead of relying on email and even phone conversations, if you have a difficult topic that you want to cover, a complex topic, you just jump in the car, ride 5 minutes, and sit down and talk about it. You know, and we've been really good about moving people from facility to facility. I have an office in both facilities, for example, and spend at least 50% of my time in the legacy Overture building and 50% of my time in the legacy Hatteras building. And then we're going to move them all under one roof within the next 6 months.
But not outside of your current area?
No, no, we're going to stay in Research Triangle Park, and Overture has a development site also in Richardson, Texas, and we're going to keep that site there. That site's doing great, building some exciting products as well, and but just instead of having two buildings that are 4 miles apart, put them under one big roof.
Not that you can really get much more exciting than a merger between two companies like this, but what can we look forward to in the next, say, year?
I think both companies have won awards over the last few years for really making it easier for carriers to develop and deploy Ethernet services. And I think we're really seeing that as a critical place for us to exist and thrive in the marketplace. So I think you're going to see more and more of that. You always hear about carriers talking about how difficult it is to integrate new services into their IT platforms and the like. And I think, companies like Hatteras and Overture, before the merge, each did very well with carriers trying to simplify that process, trying to make it easier to deploy their products and turn up new Ethernet services, and we're really going to try to invest a lot in that going forward.
Well, isn't that really the secret to a successful operation, is the agility with which you can turn up new services?
Absolutely. You need agility, and of course the fundamental promise of Ethernet, but it's often forgotten, is ease of use and interoperability, right? If you take your RJ45 connector off of your laptop, you plug it into the wall anywhere in the world, it works. You don't have to provision anything, you don't have to do anything special, it just always works. Carrier Ethernet should be the same way.
Excellent. Kevin, thanks so much. Been here at CommTel with Kevin Sheehan from Overture Networks.
Thanks.
Thank you.